All right, I think we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to creating a Discord bot with Discord JS workshop. Uh, the TA team and myself are really excited to have you all here, and also thank you for being part of HackCamp. As part of the organizing team, we are very excited to have you today and have you tomorrow as well for Build Day. All right, a little bit of an introduction who I am. I am David Garcia, as I mentioned. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm a third year CMS student. What CMS is a combined major science. So I study a lot of things and then try to make a decision about what I want to do when I grow up. So it's for undecided people, basically. I'm studying CS, astronomy, and environmental sciences. We have a great group of TAs. We have Shirley. She is the logistics director for one of our events. We have Christy Lowe, logs coordinator, and Philip Sang, sponsorship coordinator. And today we were also able to confirm some more TAs. We also have Derek. We have Julio. We have John. We have Kevin. We have Nick, sorry, and Stephanie. So it's a huge team of TAs so that we can easily and swiftly help you whenever you have issues, because you probably will have, but we're going to help you so that you feel comfortable at the end of this workshop to be able to solve your own issues. So a few ground rules before we begin. First off, if you have a question, please ask. Again, we have the activity banter where you can ask questions via text. We also have the assistance channel where you can react to a message, send a blurb of what your problem is, and then our TAs can contact you via DM to support you better. And if you guys need to get on a call or something, it's just easier for everybody. Again, there are no stupid questions. If you have a question, please ask. Let me know how I'm doing. If I'm going too fast, too slow, if you're not understanding, let us know on activity banter, and then the TAs will ping me so that I can level and make sure that you guys have a good experience and a good workshop. And then feel free to reach out to me later in the day if you have any other questions. My contact info is going to be in the last slide once we finish the workshop. All right, so what are the objectives of this workshop? By the end of the workshop, I want everybody here to feel comfortable and feel that they can create their own Discord bot using Discord.js. Feel comfortable using documentation. We're going to be relying a lot on documentation during this workshop, so I want you to feel comfortable looking at other documentation for other APIs. Be able to apply what you learned in the computational thinking workshop as well as the GitHub workshop. Hopefully, you guys all went to those. D, know what Node is and how to use it to create apps. More on that later. And familiarize yourself with Git basics. We have a Git workshop. It just happened. It's not later. It just happened. And hopefully you were able to attend that and you can use the knowledge that you learned today here with us. So workshop schedule, we'll do a quick introduction about our tools, Node, JS, and APIs. It's going to be like a 10-minute introduction. Then we'll set up the Discord server and Discord developer portal account. We'll set up a Node project with VS Code. We're going to be using VS Code. Then we'll start programming our bot with Discord.js. We'll use .env and .getignore files to keep our tokens safe. And then we're going to upgrade our bot from using Discord.js using Discord.js Commando, which is just an extra layer of abstraction, and it facilitates the creation of bots. And then at the end, some extra stuff if we do have some time. So tools. We'll be using Node.js to be able to run JavaScript with a browser. More on that in a bit. We'll be using JavaScript.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Are you trying to show? Are you like sharing your screen right now, or are you just like talking?
I am sharing my screen. Am I not sharing my screen?
You're not. Click the button at the bottom.
Damn, guys, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm so sorry. You guys should have told me through the Discord. Thank you, Maggie. I really appreciate that. I really thought I had this going. Let me share my screen. This is gonna make a lot more sense to everybody now. There we go. All right. I'm so sorry. That's my apologies. I was just so excited to get this going that I completely forgot to share my screen. All right, so the tools that we're going to be using, again, Node.js, you're able to run JavaScript without a browser. We're going to be using JavaScript as our programming language. We'll be using Discord.js and Discord.js Commando APIs, and we'll be using VS Code as our IDE. I know that some of you aren't able to use VS Code and you are going to be using some other IDE. That is 100% fine, but know that I'm going to be using VS Code, so if it looks different, it's probably just because of your IDE. All right, some helpful links. Hopefully my TAs can send these links to the Banter channel so you can access them quickly. It's going to be a Notion page where you can follow all of the of what we are doing. All of the things that I'm going to be writing down as code is going to be there. All of the challenges are going to be there. Hints to those challenges and the solutions are all going to be there. That Notion page also has the presentation slides in case you want to follow along right now. And we're also going to be constantly referring to the documentation pages. So the TAs will send you 2 documentation pages, one for Discord.js and one for Discord.js Commando. First, we're just going to use Discord.js and then Discord.js Commando. Again, more on that in a bit. And then you can find some more tutorials in Discord.js.guide, but we'll send that at the very end. All right, so 10 minutes of lecture, I promise. It'll go super fast. So first, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is that. You can literally Google it and look at Wikipedia, and it's going to tell you that. But there's a lot of words, a lot of things going on. So big word alert. Let's break it down so that we can understand what's going on here. So programming language means it's just a language with syntax. For example, Spanish, English, French. You know, it has a set of rules like spelling and grammar. We call it syntax in CS. And this language gives us the opportunity to communicate with computers, to give them a set of instructions so that we can get them some output. Then we have high level. High level programming languages are languages that have a high level of abstraction. If you come from the computational workshop, you talked about abstraction being a way of hiding difficult things that you really don't want to mess with. And it just makes things easier for you. So JavaScript is a high level programming language. Just-in-time compile just means that the program is translated or compiled to machine code. If you want to learn more about that, you can Google it. And multi-paradigm means that this programming language, JavaScript, fits multiple different programming paradigms. Again, if you want to learn more, you can just Google it or ask me after the workshop. This JavaScript is also curly bracket syntax. You might have known this from working with, for example, Java or C, C++. They all use the curly bracket syntax. I'll show you what that means once we get to VS Code. Dynamic typing means that you don't have to set the type of the variables when we're coding. Again, I'll show you that when we're on VS Code. And then prototype-based object orientation is just it's a type of object-oriented programming. You can Google that later or send me a DM later. So that was JavaScript. That was the programming language that we are going to use to communicate with the computers, right? To tell what we want the computer to do when something happens. However, JavaScript was created to work on browsers. It was created for the web. And so we need something like Node.js to be able to run JavaScript code in our computer and not on a browser. And this is what Node is. Node.js is an open source cross-platform backend JavaScript runtime environment. But again, big word alert. So let's break it down. Open source means that anybody and everybody can contribute to the project for free. It has a set of maintainers that look at all the issues that the code has, and on their free time, they just work on it. And they do it because they like it and because they want the practice. Cross-platform means that it can run on different platforms, so OS X, Windows, Linux. Backend means that it handles the behind the scenes of programs. It's opposite from front end, which is all the logic behind a program. Then we have runtime environment, which means it's just if we want to abstract this idea, it's just a box where the code can be executed. Again, we said that JavaScript was made for browsers. We're not going to be running on a browser. We're going to be running on our computer. So Node.js just creates a box to hold that that code and be able to run it and do things with it. More information is on that YouTube link that's on the presentation. It's a really good link. I would really recommend you to look at it if you want to learn more about what Node.js is and how it works behind the scenes. All right, and finally, just one more. This is the last thing lecture related that we will do today. What is an API? API standing for Application Programming Interface. An interface or package of code that defines interaction between multiple software intermediaries. So what does that mean? It's basically code that someone else created that will make your life easier. So in our example, we are using the Discord.js API. The Discord.js API is, files and files and files of code that give us special objects, classes, variables, etc., to be able to communicate with the Discord servers. Because if we didn't use Discord API, the Discord.js API, we would have to use very hard and hard to understand code to be able to communicate with the Discord servers, and we don't want that. So that's why we use this API, right? So hopefully you understood what an API is. Again, if you didn't, I'll be free to ask our TAs, or you can Google it after this workshop. So we're done. That's all that we're going to do in terms of lecturing. Let's get ready to build our bot. So now I'm going to exit my presentation, and I'm going to put it down here. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to open the following link. It's called discord.com/developers/applications. You can find it on the Notion page, and hopefully our TAs can search it up and send it to you as well. You will probably be signed out, and I will have to log out as well because this is my other account that I've been using. So this is what you are going to see at first. Hopefully you have a Discord account, so please do log in. So put your email and your password and log in. It's going to ask me for a authentication. Sorry about that. Let me do that. This is excellent time for you to be able to sign in as well. If you see my Discord 627. My Discord notifications, I apologize for that. All right, so hopefully everybody is here. I'll give it another 30 seconds in case you're having some technical difficulties logging in to this website. Yeah, damn. I received a lot of pings about me not sharing, but because I was in full screen, I didn't get anything. That kind of sucks. All right. Okay, now what we're gonna do, like Kakuk said, we're gonna create a new application. So top right corner, you can call it whatever you want. I'm gonna call it test bot. I'm gonna click create. I'm gonna create a new bot. Then you're gonna come to the left corner where it says bot over here. This might be closed. If you have a very small computer, this might be closed. On the top left, there's gonna be a way to open this menu, and just click bot. And then on the top right, you're gonna click on add bot. You're gonna click yes, do it, and we've successfully created a bot on Discord's backend servers, so that they know that we're gonna building a bot, and this bot can interact with Discord. So before we leave from this website, we're just gonna click on this copy token button because we're going to be using it in a second. If we then move back to our Notion page, there is another link that we need to follow, and I'll show it to you right here. It's called discordapi.com/permissions.html, and this website is going to make things easier for us in terms of giving our bot the permissions necessary to do a lot of the things that we want to do, like send messages, give roles, take out roles, create and remove channels, etc. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click on the administrator role, and that basically gives it all the roles, I'm pretty sure. And then, oh, my apologies. I believe I have done something wrong. We shouldn't have clicked the copy token. That was my mistake. We need to go back to the developer portal website, go back to general information on the left side here, and we need to copy the client ID. This client ID, you can just select and copy, or just click on this copy. It's going to say copied. And then back on the Discord API website, we're going to go down here where it says client ID, and we're going to paste that. It's going to turn green if the number is successful. And then you're just going to click on this new link that just appeared. Trust this link. It's a safe link. It's not gonna hack your Discord or anything. Don't worry about it. And then just make sure that you select a. Oh, never mind. I'm rushing again. I'm so sorry. I'm rushing again. Before you click continue here, we need to go to our Discord app, and we need to create our Discord server where our Discord bot is going to live. So once you're in the Discord app, you're gonna click on add a server on the bottom left. Yes, I have a lot of channels. My life is crazy. Add a server, create my own, and just give it a name. It can be really anything. I'm just gonna call it test server. I think I'm on test server 3 now, so I'm gonna just call it that. I'm gonna click create, and boom. This is the server that we want to use to be able to use our bot and where the bot is going to be interacting. So this might not give it to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh the screen right here. And yes, test server 3 is right here. All right, so we're going to click on test server 3. We're going to click continue. We are giving it the administrator role. So we're going to be able to give the bot the permissions to do a lot of the things that we don't want to do. Just like tedious work, like removing, creating channels, sending messages, etc. Well, we are going to click authorize. Just going to ask me to make sure that I'm on a bot or a robot, and it's authorized. All right. I'm going to hold here for the next 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that everybody is on sync with where I am. If you have any questions, please send it to the Discord channel. Once everything goes well, you should see in your general channel of your new test server that test bot or the name of your bot joined. Right. So as soon as this is the case, just go get some water. We'll begin again in about 1 minute. I'm going too fast. Yes, I'm going too fast. I apologize for that, guys. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Thank you for letting me know. Really appreciate that. So after setting permissions, right, you click on the administrator permission. Then you are gonna go down, and it's gonna say client ID, and you're gonna copy the client ID that you got from the Discord developer portal. This is the client ID right here. It's inside general information. Once you put that ID there, a link is gonna pop up on the below that, and just click on that link. Select the test server that you just created, and then click authorize. It's going to ask you to make sure that you're not a robot and things like that, and then it's going to say you've been authorized. You can, like, you're done, kind of thing. I'm going to be using the app, but you can also use the web browser. Oh, so to create the bot, you're using a website called discord.com/developers/applications. It's going to ask you to sign in. It's going to look something like this. Once you log in, you're just going to create a new application, top right. Okay. Once you do that, you want to make sure that you come down here to the left side, click on bot, and then it's going to say add bot, I believe, and that's what you have to do on this website, and then just come back to general information and copy a client ID. Again, all this information is on our Notion page. There's a sub page inside that Notion page with a step-by-step guide on how to do this in case you're really far behind. It has all the steps laid out. That's right, Jerry. Thank you. Both app and desktop don't work. All right. Make sure if you're having issues, make sure you click on the assistance channel and ask for some help from TAs. TAs will be very glad to help you. Okay. We are gonna move on now. Hopefully everybody's back from their food and everything. All right. So again, as I mentioned, we have successfully told Discord, hey, Discord, I'm going to be creating a bot. All right. So that when this bot tries to do something, you know that it's okay and I'm letting it do things. So now what we have to do is write the code for this bot. This is my desktop. I want everybody to go to their desktop. Yes, it's in Spanish and I have a lot of games. I'm a gamer and I'm from Mexico. So what you're going to do on your desktop, or you can really do it anywhere, but I like desktop just so that I can show you guys and we can all be on the same page. So you're going to do a right click and you're going to say new, that's nuevo, and then a folder. So you're going to create a new folder. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it testbot. Click enter and I've created a new folder. Then I'm going to do, again, right click on top of this new folder. I'm going to open with code. So that's VS Code. Hopefully everybody download VS Code. If you have another IDE, open this folder with your with that other IDE. Okay. So this is VS Code, and it just opened that folder right there. And so the first thing that we want to do is want to install or initialize npm. npm comes with Node.js. It should have been installed when you installed Node.js, as the pre-workshop instructions said. And it's what npm does. It gives us easy access to other APIs and other code packages. And so we are going to be using npm to install discord.js and discord.js commando. So what we want to do is we're going to open terminal to initialize this npm. So on top left, you see this button that says terminal. Let's click on it and open a new terminal. So this is the terminal right here, bottom side. Make sure that you're inside the folder that you just created. If you're not, and you don't know how to move around on the terminal, ask one of our TAs, and they will be very happy to help. So making sure that you're in the correct folder, we're going to say npm init, right there, npm space init, click enter, and it's going to do a lot of things, and it's going to ask you for some information. We're not going to give it to them because we don't really have to. So we're just going to click enter, 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 enter. Is this okay? You're going to say yes, type yes. Oh, let me make this a little bigger. There we go. So we'll just npm space init, enter until it says, is this okay? Write yes, click enter, and boom. npm has been initialized. You know that because a package.json has been created. What this package.json is a file where all the information about our current APIs or packages or code from other people that we are using is there. So what we want to do now is we're going to tell npm to install the Discord.js and Discord.js commando APIs. So to do that, we're going to say npm install Discord.js. Enter. It might take a while to download depending on your internet speeds, but hopefully once the command gets run, it tells you what you see on my screen. It was successful and you're back on the terminal. Then we're going to do the same thing with Discord.js commando. We're going to say npm install Discord.js /commando. Enter. And same deal, npm is gonna download some stuff. It's gonna install all the files and things like that. It's gonna give us some warnings, but we don't care about that because we're not gonna use SQLite and those other warnings. And so we're just gonna move on, right? So hopefully everybody is okay up to this point. Just want to make sure that that's the case. If not, I'll kind of stop a bit. All right. Everything seems to be fine. So we said that we're going to be using the Discord.js and Discord.js APIs. I want everybody right now to open the Discord.js documentation. This is the website, discord.js.org. You can just Google Discord space JS, and the first link is going to be that, or hopefully the TAs were able to send it to you via our text channel. And this is your go-to page whenever you have questions or whenever we are doing challenges, right? The most useful feature in this website is the search bar. So for example, if we're working with the object of type message, you can just search for message, and we can see here that this is the C for class message. P, E, and M, don't worry about that. We're only going to be using or dealing with C for class. And then inside here, you have all the information, all the properties and methods. Properties are basically variables of this class, variables of this instance of information per se. It's all the information of that one variable or of that message, for example, in this case. And then the methods are all the, we could say, functions that we can do with this message, with this particular message. For example, one of the methods here is delete, right? If we say message.delete, it's gonna delete that message that we run it with, right? So that's what these methods, or what these methods are, and properties are just information of this object. Okay, so hopefully that made a little bit of sense. If it didn't, let me know on the Discord so that I can kind of go over that again, because this is something very key that everybody should kind of get a feeling of. And this is part of the object-oriented design structure behind Discord.js and behind JavaScript as a whole, right? We say that a message is the object, and then the properties, right, is all the information of that object, and then the methods is everything that we can do with that method. Say again, but slower. All right. Thank you. Again, message, right, is a object. It contains information, that's the properties, and it contains functions, and those are the methods. Properties is just information, right? The name, the author, the content, the edits. There's a lot of properties. That's a lot of information that we get from that object. Then we have the methods. Methods are all of the functions that we can do with that object. For example, with this message, what we can do is delete it by saying, message dot delete. It would delete that message, right? It's one of the methods of that object, of that class. We can also create a reaction collector. We can create an await reactions. We can edit. We can equals. There's a lot of things. Don't feel overwhelmed, right? We are currently going to go one step at a time, so that you understand, what it is one at a time. Okay, so hopefully that made a little bit more sense. If not, again, do let me know. And if I'm not making sense, which happens sometimes, do ask a TA for assistance, and they can definitely join a call with you to just explain it to you all even slower. We do need to kind of move on, because yes, I can definitely make my font bigger on my website. Yeah, you're totally right. This Chrome thing is pretty small font. Let me zoom in. Hopefully this is better. Can I do more? Yeah, okay, I can definitely do more. Everything still fits. All right, hopefully you guys can see this better. Right, so properties, methods, and we're gonna be coming back to this as we code. So just keep this somewhere in your computer. All right. Now we're gonna start coding now. Again, this is a intermediate workshop, right? We are gonna be writing some code. Do not give up. If it's not working, if you don't understand it, if it's just not making sense, let me know on Discord. Let a TA know by going to the assistance channel and asking for some help. We have a lot of TAs, and we have other hackers out there that are very happy to help you. So please do ask questions. Please do seek that support that we have here for you, so that you can learn. And at the end of this workshop, you feel comfortable with doing all of this.
Oh, wait,
So,
JP, one more interruption.
one more
Can you just
interruption.
give people a break? Because I think a lot of people are like,
Yeah,
you're going way too
yeah,
fast.
definitely. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Let's take a 2-minute break, 3-minute break, so that everybody can kind of catch on. If you have questions, again, ask them on the Discord. We have a lot of hackers going on here. Hopefully everybody did install Node before this workshop. If that's not the case, John just sent an amazing link where it tells you how to install Node and npm on Windows. You can also just Google it, and you should find a lot of websites that tell you how. Node is widely used, like widely used. Stuff. All right, how are we doing? Are people getting kind of catching up there? Yes, everything is recorded. Again, open that Notion page, and you can follow everything from there. All of what I'm going to do and all of what I'm saying, not to the same extent, but most of it is written down on that Notion page. You can definitely follow that if you're a little bit behind. I'll give it another minute before we move on. Sorry guys for going so fast. I'm so excited. Like I really like all this. And so my apologies for going too fast. I apologize. I'll keep trying to go a little bit slower for everybody here. Yes. Can I ask one of my TAs to relink the Notion page to the activity banter, please? There we go. Oh, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. All right. We're gonna keep moving on just a few seconds here. I'm just trying to find. All right, we're gonna move on now. Again, if you have questions, ask our TAs and follow the Notion page. You're gonna find everything there. Okay. Okay. So we've installed Discord.js. We've installed Discord.js Commando. Now we need to start creating our files. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first create a index.js file. That's the name of that file. How we do that is on this left side under the Explorer menu. If you have something else or if you have nothing open, like I'm showing right now, just click on the Explorer menu. And under the testbot folder, you're going to do a right click and you're going to click on new file. And it didn't do anything to me. Oh, there we go. New file. And again, we're going to call it index.js. .js means it's a JavaScript file. Why are we calling it index? And it has to be index, guys. Everybody make sure that this file is called index.js and not anything else. Why? Because if we go to package.json, this is what Node is going to look at when we tell it to run our code, to run our project. And you see here in the main section, it's just telling Node like, hey, what's the main program? What's the first program that I must run? What's the program that is going to run everything else? And it's called index.js by default. So that's why we go with index.js as file name. Okay. If you change this name to something else like hello.js, then you should change the file name to hello.js. But for now, we are gonna stay with index.js because it's just the convention. All right. So first, we have to initialize the requirements. I'm gonna write down some code and then I'll explain what's going on. Okay. So it's gonna be const for constant. More on that in a bit. Discord equals require. And then we open and close these ticks to say discord.js. And you don't need to put a semicolon, but I like putting semicolons because I'm used to it. So okay, and then we'll do one more, which is almost the same thing. We're gonna say const. We're gonna say const bot equals new space discord dot client, open close parentheses, and then semicolon because I like it. All right, what is going on here? First line number 1, right here. We're saying const for constant. What is a constant? Is a variable that will not change after it gets set, right? So if I try to change the value of this Discord variable, it's not going to let me. JavaScript is going to be like, hey, whoa, that's a syntax error. That's a spelling error, right? If we would be writing English, we're writing JavaScript, so we say syntax error. It means that there's something wrong with the core values and rules of JavaScript, and that's why we use constant. We don't want the value of Discord to change. Now, what are we setting Discord to be? We're setting it to be all the files, all of the methods, all of the functions, all of the classes that come with discord.js. That's what this require thing means, right? It's saying go to discord.js, which is somewhere in my computer, right? Because npm installed it for me. Grab all of that and put it inside the Discord variable. And it's going to be a constant so that we don't change it. That's that first line. Now the second line is very similar. We're saying again constant and then bot. We're just calling it bot. It could be anything, but I like to call it bot. And we're setting it to be a new Discord.client. Now, what is a Discord.client? Great question. I honestly have no clue. Let's figure it out. If we go to the documentation, right, and we search for client, you can see that again, it's this C right here. It's a class called client. Let's click on it, and it's going to say the main hub for interacting with Discord API and the start point for any bot. Okay, that makes sense, right? Because we're just starting the bot, and it says that the client is the starting point for any bot, so that makes sense. And here we even have the construction, right? New Discord.client. We're not going to deal with options because that's not needed right now, right? So again, this code, I didn't know it by heart. I wasn't born with it. I just Googled the Discord.js documentation, and I started looking into, what's the first thing that you should do when you're starting a bot? Oh, it's building a client. Now, how do you make a client? It's Discord.client, right? New Discord.client. It's very important to add that new word right there, because we are instantiating. What instantiating means is that we are creating a new object of type of class client. Okay, and again, if we go back to our documentation, we know, right, that this client object, this variable called bot, that signifies a client, is going to have, it's going to have all the properties, all these methods, and all of these events. More on events in a bit. But again, properties, we said, is just information about that object. So we have this client's channels, client's emojis, client's guilds, users, voice, etc. We have all of its methods, and then we have all of its events. More on events in a bit. All right, I hope this all made sense. If it didn't, let us know on the Discord text channel, and I can go over something again, okay? Zoom in more into VS Code, roger that, will do. Is that better? It kind of goes a little bit, I don't know if it's me, but it's kind of blurry, but hopefully it's better. Yeah? So const Discord equals require Discord.js, and then const bot equals new Discord.client. All right, thank you, Vinny, thank you. All right, hopefully this all makes sense. Right, so hopefully you know what's going on, and you're not just writing code. If you're just writing code and you don't know what's going on, let me know, or let a TA know, so we can explain what's going on, right? Or read the documentation so that you kind of get a feeling of what a client is. Okay. All right. Now we are gonna continue. Where's my? There you go. All right. So now we have to log in, right? Because like any other Discord user, it needs to log in to Discord. How we do that is we're gonna say bot dot login, and we're gonna add a string. I'll tell you what string we're gonna add there though in a second, okay? Bot.login. How did I know that bot.login is what I have to use to log in my user? Of course, like the login gives you kind of the entire hint, but again, it was through the documentation, right? If I'm looking at the methods and I look at login, okay, like I want to log the bot into Discord. Login kind of makes sense. Let me read what login does. It logs the client in, client being the bot. Establishes a WebSocket connection to Discord. That's just fancy for saying like I'm starting a connection to the Discord servers so that Discord knows who the bot is and it lets me do things. All right. Everything comes back to the documentation, right? We're always reading the documentation to know what is going on and what do I want to do next. Right. So then we need to add a token here. How do we know that? Well, login expects a token. Parameters. Right, it's a fancy CS word that tells you what this method expects. Again, method is the .login. That's a method. The parameters is what that method expects, and all the parameters go inside these parentheses. Right, so we wanna add the token. What is the token? Is token of the account to log in with. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our Discord developer portal. Okay. We're going to go back to the bot menu on the left side, click on bot. We're going to copy this token. Do not reveal it, just copy it, okay? Now this token is a very important token that nobody should ever see. I want to share mine with you guys because I trust you all. But you should never, ever, ever share tokens with anybody. Why? Because tokens give, like this token is going to give this code access to my Discord server with the permissions of an administrator, right? So in real life, for example, for the nwPlus bot that you've been using throughout HackCamp, if someone got a hold of the keys or of the token of that bot, they could create their own little code, use those keys or those tokens to access the server and just start, doing crazy things that we don't want that to happen, right? So those tokens need to be safe, and like nobody should know about those tokens. Right now, we're just going to put it as a string, but in a bit, we are going to use a .env or .environment file to keep those variables safe. So again, this is my key. Do not use this token. Use your own token, and please don't don't use this to hack me. I trust you all. Yeah. All right. So we've successfully logged the bot into Discord. So that's great. Now we're gonna do one last thing, and that's gonna be we are gonna make a ready call, and this is where events come in. Now I'll go back to the documentation so we can all see what events are. So these are all of the events that the client or the client class, right, which is right now our bot variable, can listen for. What are events? Events are just basically, you could call them, I don't want to use the word message because we're going to be using messages a lot, but kind of like flags all around, flags that the Discord servers are going to be sending this client, right? And so flags can happen for multiple reasons, and each flag has its own name. For example, the event called channel create is emitted whenever a channel is created, right? So whenever someone creates a channel, that flag is sent, and anyone who's listening to that event is gonna know, oh, someone just created a channel, right? And it's gonna know what that channel is. It's gonna get the channel, and it can do something with it, right? So for example, if you wanted our bot to do something when a new channel is created, then this event would be perfect. Okay. Right now, what we want to do is we want to use let me find it here, the ready event. The ready event is emitted when the client becomes ready to start working. That is when it has successfully made connection with Discord and it says, all right, I am ready to start doing things, to start listening for messages, listening for commands, listening for events, or what we're calling right now flags, right? So this is what we want to use. And how we use that is we're going to say bot.on, right? The bot on is saying on such event, we're going to do this. So what event are we looking for right now? We're looking for the ready event, and it's just going to be a string, the string of the event's name. We're going to do comma, space, and then this is what VS Code is telling me is a listener. What a listener is just a function with code that's going to happen when this a anonymous or a lambda function. I personally like that. If you go to the Notion page, there's a lot of ways to write this down. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a anonymous function that is this. What an anonymous function is a function without a name. That's basically what it is. So instead of saying like, oh, on ready, right, kind of thing, like this is also valid, I believe. Why is it not letting me that's valid? It should be valid. Okay. I don't know why it's not valid, but instead of calling it something, we're just not going to call it anything because it takes space that we don't need. So then we're going to say, when this event ready gets triggered, what do I want to do? I'm going to do something very simple. I'm just going to log to the console. What does log to the console mean? This down here we said is a terminal, also called console. So console.log, what console.log does is that it's going to write something. It's going to write a string to the console, to the terminal. So it's a very easy way for us to know when things like what is going on and tells us. It's easy for the program to tell us what's going on as humans, right? So we are just going to say console.log, open parentheses, and we're going to say logged in as space, and we're gonna concatenate a bot.user.tag. What does concatenate mean? It means that we're adding two strings. It's just a fancy word. I'm introducing these fancy words. You can use them or you cannot use them, but concatenation means that you're getting two strings and you're putting them all in one string. And the way to do that on JavaScript is with the addition command or the addition symbol. Now, what is bot.user.tag? I honestly have no clue. Let's figure it out. How can we figure out what bot.user.tag is? You might have guessed it's using the documentation. So if we go to the documentation and we go all the way up to all the properties and we look for user, here it is. It tells us that user the client is logged in as. So it's of a object type client user. We can click on it and it takes us there. And again, this other object has more properties and has more methods that we can use. But right now we are using, I think it was bot.client.tag. So tag is down here, bottom of the properties list. It's all in alphabetical order if you haven't realized. Let's click on tag and it says tag, which is a read only, so we cannot change the tag. Is the Discord tag example hydrovolt number 0001 for this user. Right? And it's of type string. So that's great, right? We are able to concatenate two strings. We know that bot.user.tag is a string, and we know that, well, this is obviously a string right here. So we can concatenate these two strings, and we can log that to the console. Right? Does that make sense? Let me know if it doesn't. Let me know if you want me to move back to something or explain something further. Hopefully it all makes sense. Okay, I'm seeing no further messages on Activity Banter, so I'm gonna move on. We're gonna run the code now. Okay, so we're gonna get the bot to connect to Discord and to console, to log to the console that's logged in as bot.user.tag. How do we do that? We're gonna go down to the terminal and we're gonna do the following. We're gonna do node space bot. That's it. What is this? We're saying, hey, node, look, I want you to run the main program. How does node know what the main program is? Like we said earlier in package.json, it says that main is index.js. We're currently writing index.js, so that's great. It all adds up. It all makes sense. So we're going to say node dot, click enter, and it says logged in as test bot6958. That's great. It should work. Hopefully yours works too. And you can also know if it works is if you go to Discord and you go into your test server, it's going to show that bot to be online. Okay, so I want you guys to try it now and let me know on the Activity Banter channel if it's working. I really want to know if it is. Yes, Torn, doing node dot and node.index.js is, in this case, the same thing. Why is it the same thing right now? Because we're saying that the main program is index.js, right? So it is the same thing. But for example, if main was main.js and you wrote node index.js, it would run index.js and not main.js. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. It doesn't do anything after I enter node dot. Huh. It might take a second to get the bot to do something. Maybe you need to save the file first. That's right, Jerry. Excellent observation there. Make sure you're saving the file. If you don't save the file, nothing's gonna happen. If you make a change, we're gonna come back to this in a bit, but if you make a change, you need to save it. You need to rerun the bot so that those changes take effect. All right, so make sure that all of your files are saved. All right, I see that it's working for most, so that's great. That's really exciting. I'm very happy for you all. Let's keep moving then. Very good. Again, to know that it works, it either logged in or it logged something to the console, or if you go to Discord and into that test server that you created, you're gonna see the bot to say it's online. If it didn't work, it's gonna be an offline. Okay. Hopefully it does work though. Yes, I think that's Melvin that's asking. Melvin, this line number 3 in my case, right here that I'm looking at, we are instantiating, we are creating a new client object. That is correct. We're saying from all the Discord files, I want to grab the client object and I want to create a new client object. And we're assigning that to the constant named bot. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Thank you, Colin, for helping out Melvin. Appreciate it. Why I added so many line breaks? No, I just like keeping, like, I like using space to my advantage. It's easier for me to kind of see what's going on. Also easier for you to see what's going on. If I had everything like super tightly bound, it would just, like, it's too much code altogether. It's hard to understand. So I just like putting in some extra spaces here and there. All right. Then we already went over at the bot to the server. Go ahead and ask for some assistance so that they can help you out, okay? I don't want to go that far behind. Sorry. All right, we're going to move on now. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do something a little bit more useful than just logging to the console, right? But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to give all of you a challenge. The challenge is find an event on the client documentation that we need to use to know when someone sends a message, right? So the end goal of this challenge is to have a bot.on with a different event than ready that will let us know when someone has sent a message, right? I want you to find that, and then I want you to log to the console just like what we're doing here, but instead of logging bot.user.tag, just say console.log someone sent a message. All right, I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes to look over the client documentation, find this event that will tell us when someone sent a message, then use that event to get the bot to know when that happened and to log to the console someone has sent a message. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. If you need hints, just let our TAs know, or let me know via Discord. Yes, excellent question. What am I? That's someone's name. What am I is asking, once I run the command, I can't really type anything. Yes, that's because we're currently running we're currently running something. To do something on the terminal, I completely forgot to mention this. I'm sorry about that. What you have to do is you have to do Control-C inside the terminal, and that's gonna close, or that's gonna terminate the previous command, right? So the node dot is a infinite command that's gonna keep node running forever until you terminate it. How you terminate is Control-C or Command-C if you're on OS X. And so then now, as you see, I Control-C, and so now I'm back, and I can go ahead and say node dot, and I'll rerun the bot once again. And then Control-C, and I'm back on my terminal. Again, like I mentioned, once you make a change to your file, make sure you save it Control-S or Command-S for Mac users. Control-S, and then you need to rerun the bot. Control-C on terminal, and then node dot, so that the bot reruns with the newest code. Okay. Quick hint: instead of having to write node dot every single time, what you can do is you can just click up arrow if you have an up arrow, and it's gonna give you the latest command in the terminal that you just ran. And if you click up even further, it's gonna tell you like all the previous commands that you've used before. So right now we're just dealing with node dot. Okay. Hey, Bob, nice. Good job. Good. Bob got it running. That's great. If you also got it running, let us know on the Activity Banter channel. We really want to make sure that you guys are trying these challenges, because this is how people learn. Usually, it's by having some fun with some challenges. Wiki asks, is there a difference between single quote and double quote? No, there is no difference here. With JavaScript, it is the same thing to use single quote or double quotes. They both mean a string. However, when do you use one and when do you use the other? Usually, it's just what you prefer. However, let's say, for example, I wanted to say, I wanted to add a apostrophe s to logged. I don't know why I would want to do that. But if I add an apostrophe s, you see that, oh, there's errors because I closed this string and then there's another string that's going forever. So in that case, there's different ways of adding the single quote as an apostrophe. I could change this to using double quotes. And so then now I can use a single quote as an apostrophe and I'm good. It's not going to give me any errors. Or you can also use escape command, the escape key for strings, backslash, to say like, oh, this special key is not actually closing the string. It's like an actual single quote that I want to add to the string itself. That's the difference between the two. Again, it's just down to preference. I prefer to use single quote. I'm just used to it. Again, there's also a lot of different conventions for different programming languages. I'm used to writing with, for example, Dart and Python. And for Dart, we usually use single quote. I'm not sure in JavaScript if the convention is double quote. Maybe a mentor can correct me there. Do let me know if I'm talking bad stuff. All right, so hopefully we are good here. I'm gonna run through the solution. So what we're gonna do is we say bot.on message, and then we just do a anonymous function, open close brackets. Again, remember we said JavaScript is a bracketed syntax language. This is where the brackets are coming to play. We're saying this function, this anonymous function's code is inside these brackets right here. And we're just gonna say console.log message was sent. All right, awesome. Hopefully it works. I know that mine will, so I'm not gonna test it, but hopefully it works. Now we're gonna bring it up a level, because this is kind of useless, right? Like, okay, we know that someone sent a message, but we don't know what the message is. So let's try to use that to our advantage. If we go to the documentation, get used to me saying documentation, so we're gonna use it a lot. If we go back, we're currently on client user. We want to be on user. Oh, sorry, on client here. Excellent. We're on client. One of the events, as you might have guessed, is message. And it tells us emitted whenever a message is created. So that's great. But then it says that there's a parameter of type message, the created message. So what does that mean? It means that for our anonymous function, right, for our listener, we can pass it on a parameter, and it's going to be of type message, and it's going to be the message that was sent. We can call it whatever we want to call it. It can be message, MSG, MSG, hello, hi. The variable name can be whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it message just to be easier. I think on the Notion I used MSG, but right now I'm just going to use message so that it's clear of what's going on. Right. So again, from the documentation, we know that the message event is going to pass on a parameter of type message, and it's the created message. Now let's look at this message class. Again, we're on the message class. It represents a message on Discord. And these are all of the properties and methods that we can use with it. We know its activity, its author, the client, if it's editable, its edits, flags, ID. There's a lot of things here that we can get from this message. So if we wanted to know, for example, the content of the message, right? If you wanted to log to the console what the content of the message is, we would do is we can just go ahead and click Control F or Command F for search, and we can say maybe content. Oh, there we go. So it tells us here, right here, it's content. Let's click on it. The content of the message, and it's of type string. So that's great because we know that we can log something to the console of type string. So we can say message was sent with content, and we're going to concatenate the initial string and then the message content, because we know that that is a string as well. And we're just going to say message.content. Why message.content? Again, because here in our anonymous function, we said that the parameter that this event message is going to send us, we're going to call it message, and then we're going to say we want to grab that message content, right? How you access, I should have said this earlier, my apologies. How you access all the methods and all of the parameters of objects is via the object name or variable name dot, and then what you want to access, right? So if you want to access the content, we say message dot content, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and save the file. Go ahead and rerun the bot. Hopefully this time, whenever you send something to the bot, I'm going to send something to the bot. I'm going to send hi. It says message to the content with content hi. Hopefully that works. Do let me know if it doesn't, and let me know if it does. Yes, we do want to stop the node file and run it again every time when we make code changes, Torn, just because when we call node to run our files, it's telling it to grab the files that you see right now, compile it, and then do something with it, and it's not going to look at changes. So if we make any changes, we need to rerun the bot. That is, close the node application and then run again node dot. So it reruns. Yep. Thank you, Sappy. It works. Yay. Excellent, Colin. That's great news. All right. I see that people are starting to kind of move faster. That's great. Love seeing that. Again, if I'm going a little bit too slow for some people, feel free to look at the documentation. Just challenge yourself, okay? Challenge yourself. Go a little bit past of what we're doing so that you just get some good practice. Awesome, Alyssa. It's good to hear that yours is working as well. All right, awesome. Now I'll introduce this second challenge, and that is what we're gonna do now is instead of logging to the console, I want you to reply to the message. Okay? This is a little bit of a harder challenge. Again, we have some hints. Look at the Notion page or ask our TAs. When someone sends a message, instead of logging to the console, I want you to reply to that message saying hi, or saying I am a bot, or reply with whatever you want to reply. All right? A hint from the very beginning, look at the message documentation, right? Where we were right now, where we found the content, look for a way to reply to the message. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes to figure it out how to reply to this message. And we'll be right back. Yeah, Tony brings up an excellent point there, that there are other packages as well out there. For example, nwDaemon that can help you run these files. And then once you save, I think it automatically reruns, and that's really cool stuff. It's always a little bit more advanced, but if you feel like taking that challenge on and looking at nwDaemon, Tony has sent that to the activity banter, and I'm going to pin that for everybody so that it's there forever and ever. All right, so let me know if someone is able to get this challenge working, because it is a little bit more challenging, but it's a good way to learn. I'm going to start writing some code myself in case you're kind of stuck. Oh, Malcolm got it. Nice. So, all right. Hey, Torn. Good. Excellent. Oh no, Malcolm, is it spamming you? That's interesting. That shouldn't happen. All right, well, I'll start writing the code here. The solution is message.reply. Hopefully you kind of got it from me shouting reply so many times. If you go to the documentation and you just search for reply, it's going to see that there's a method there. You click and it replies to the message. It takes two parameters, the content and then some options. And it even gives you a really nice example that you can follow along. Something that I really like about Discord.js, it has great documentation, right? Everything is very well explained. It's really easy to follow along, and it has some great examples in case you're kind of stuck. I personally got stuck so many times when we were creating the nwPlus bot, and this documentation saved my life many times. So awesome, Bob got it working. That's neat. That's awesome. So let me just get it to work as well. I'm going to say, I see your message. I'm going to save. I'm going to rerun. No dot. Come to Discord. I'll show it here so that everybody can see. I'm going to say hi. And the bot says, oh, whoa. I see your message, test bot. I see your message. I see your message. I see your message. What's going on here? Who could tell me what's going on here? Someone on Discord tell me why it's just sending it over and over and over and over and over again. The bot is replying to itself. That's right. We said as soon as any message is received, just reply to it. So it's going to reply once, and it's going to see that message, and it's going to reply to that one, and then boom, 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 and it's going to be an infinite loop, right? So hopefully you were able to close the Node application a little bit after, so that your computer doesn't go burning. But that's really cool. Now, Tony brings up an excellent point. That's something that we're going to be doing now, and that is making sure that that doesn't happen. So let me just open this up. So yeah, so again, this is a great way of doing a bot, but there's many challenges. For example, what we just saw, that it's just it's sending a message to itself over and over and over again. So what we want to do is we usually use prefixes when building commands for Discord. For example, for our Discord bot that you guys use to verify and attend, you have to use exclamation mark verify. That is exclamation mark being a prefix and then verify being the command. And that way we know that, all right, only when it's prefix plus command, we want to do something. If it's only the command name, we're not going to do anything because it doesn't have the prefix. And that way things like this don't happen, and it's easier to interact with the server. So again, another challenge. I want you to implement this prefix use. What I would recommend you guys to do is just add another constant variable, constant prefix, to equal this exclamation mark. And then remember, we're able to look at the message content. So what we want to do is we want to say, all right, if the message content is a prefix plus something, let it be ping. Let's do the ping pong, because ping pong is very common here. You want to say if the message content, right, is our prefix and then ping, we're just going to reply to that same message with pong. All right, I want you to do that challenge. I'll give you a couple minutes to do this, and let us know. Send us a screenshot of your code working on the Discord channel. So here, I'm going to start writing my code. If you never coded before, we're probably going to want to use an if statement, and an if statement is basically a way of testing a boolean being true or false, and it's a branching system. So we're going to say if this is true, we'll do this. If it's not true, then we're going to do something differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if message, we simply want to check the content, content equals the prefix, and then we're going to concatenate the command ping and curly brace syntax to say if that is true, if the message.content equals the prefix plus ping, we're going to do this. Else, oh no, well, we don't want to do an else, right? Because if it's not using a prefix and if it's not calling a command, we really don't want to do anything. It's just an if statement. Oh, there we go. Wiki got it working. Torrent got it working as well. Nice job. Good job, everybody. Awesome job. So usually, if we were at UBC, I would ask you to share the code with everybody. But Tony Pog, hey, that's right. All right, GYU22, good job as well. So yeah, we just do message reply, and we'll do Pong. And we remember save, and then no dot enter. Bot's running. Discord for server. And we again exclamation mark ping Pong. If we only do ping, it's not going to work. Now, what happens if we do? What happens if we want to do a second command? I'll give you 2 minutes to add a second command where, again, if someone sends, for example, let's say we also want to have a command that when someone sends zig, we respond with zag. How do we do that? It's very simple. I would recommend using an else if statement. I'll give you like 30 seconds to get that done. Again, you want to have another command, a second command, where if the message content is exclamation mark zig, we reply zag. Or if you want to take it a step further, build your own command, right? Do something that you want to do and then send it to us via Discord, to the Discord activity banter channel. And I want to see what you guys create if you feel like getting on an extra challenge there. I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes to do this second custom command. Yeah, I see Eliza is typing something. I'm excited to see what you guys create within these next few minutes. Yours, Eliza, yours is spamming Pong. Interesting. All right, Bob, that probably has to do with the permissions that we assigned the bot at the very beginning of the workshop. If you want to do something more advanced like pinning, you may have to give him more permissions. And so what I would do, or what you should do, is go back to Notion page, look at that, and then just make sure that instead of just giving the administrator role, give it all the roles, and it should give you that. I just didn't want to take too much time doing all the permissions there. All right, Dennis has zigzag and ping pong. That's nice, very good. We do have a couple. JC sending his code. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Hey, wow, Kenny's doing something pretty cool. He's adding. He's doing some addition, I think. That's really nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Now, it's something interesting here. What would happen if, let me show you here. What would happen if I say, ping Pong, nothing happens, right? I did run my command. I said exclamation mark ping, but then I added another, like, more text after it. And it's not working. Why is it not working? Well, because here we're just saying that the content, the message content, has to equal only the prefix and the command name so that something happens. So my next challenge to everybody is find a way so that that is not the case. So that you can do it to where if the command is the first thing on the message, the command gets run. If it's the last thing on the message, the command gets run. Or if it's anywhere on the message, the command gets run. I want you to do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel is best. Convention wise is that, if a message is to be a command, it should start with the prefix and the command, and then everything after it is just parameters to that command. But I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave you to it. A big hint for this is to look at the JavaScript string documentation. To do that, very simple. Just open Google in your preferred browser and just search JS string documentation. And there's a lot of websites that you can use. I personally like the developer.mozilla.org. It's really good. W3 School is also really good and it's a little bit more user friendly. So either of those two work, or any other, honestly, underneath that should give you a good understanding of how you could find a way if a string starts with or ends with or contains or has a another string in it. Again, you can also just search that on Google and see what comes up. I'll give you 1 or 2 seconds. 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll be right back. Again, if you're creating some fun stuff, do send it to our Discord Activity Banter channel because I really want to see what you guys are creating. Let's Julia bringing in some good points there about backslashes. Every time I say backslash, it's a quick reminder of damn, what's the game? I forgot. Whatever. Oh, definitely. Tony brings up a great point. Discord bots are a great way to have some personal projects for the resume. Yeah, it's like some of the challenges that we had for our bot is like the user interface being hard, but it's really fun. And there's like you can do so many things with a bot. There's so many things, and if you're interested in doing more with a bot, especially for HackCamp, I'm pretty sure Tony could be excited to help you with that, and I'm excited to help you as well. Through the reach to either. I'm kind of plugging Tony here. Tony, let me know if you don't want that. But yeah, like creating bots is a fun thing to do, and it's great for your resume. All right, we're gonna move on now. What I did is that I go with the traditional, saying that I want the command to be at the beginning of my message. If it's not at the beginning of my message, it's not a command. So what I do is instead of saying message.content equals prefix plus ping, I want to say message.content dot starts with, and then prefix plus ping. How did I know to use starts with? Again, documentation. I could look at the string documentation directly, or I could just search JS string starts with. I'm just like kind of writing my ideas on Google and seeing what pops up. I guess that's a lot about what coding is, looking at documentation and reading out of it. And then you see here, like, okay, Mozilla just told me the start with method determines whether a string begins with a character specified and returns true or false. That is, it returns a Boolean, and that's great. So that's inside an if statement, and it expects a true or false. So if message.content.starts with my prefix plus ping, it's going to reply Pong. Okay, so hopefully that works. Can you use a different language to script your bot? Yes, you can, W. There are a lot of APIs out there. This is discord.js. That's for JavaScript. There is a Python one that is well maintained. I'm pretty sure there's also one for C or C++. I'm not sure how well maintained that is. You can definitely just search it on Google, and it should come up. You should be able to find it there if there is anything. And if not, you can start your own open source project to do that. All right. Let's move on. We have 10 minutes left, so I kind of want to get as many of these challenges completed before we leave. And that is, what if we, okay, let's introduce arguments. Let's introduce arguments. By arguments, I mean parameters. Sorry, it's I use both interchangeably. But let's use parameters. What if I want to say, all right, whenever I say a exclamation mark, hello, JP, what I want to happen is for the bot to say hi, and then JP or whatever, like whatever second string I added to my message. So if I said hello sir, it would say hi sir. Right? I'll give you a couple minutes to work on this challenge. Again, hint is to look at the JavaScript string documentation for ways to maybe split the string and get different parts of it. Think about how the message and how the command itself is being structured. It's like it's a command, then it's space, then it's the parameter that I want to use. And so just look at the JavaScript string documentation for it. Just use Google, and let's see if you can get this done. If you do, send it to Discord. I want to see what you guys create. Oh, HTML brings an excellent point. I'll definitely touch on that HTML bot on how to deploy a bot to production. I can definitely touch on a little bit about how we are deploying our bot right now for HackCamp. I can definitely do that. Yeah, Tony's already helping you out there, so that's great. I think you still need to run it from EC2, yes. Yeah, HTML. I'll talk about how we are deploying our bot in a few minutes here. I see Jun got something pretty cool. Oh, everybody, you guys should look at what Jun created. It's really nice, Jun. That's really funny. Nice. Bob also got something pretty cool. All right, nice. So what I would do is I'm gonna create here a new command. So else if message.content starts with prefix concatenate hello. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say message.reply. I'm gonna say hey or hi. Then I'm gonna concatenate. What am I gonna concatenate? I'm gonna say message dot content dot I think it's it, right? I'm used to other programming languages. Sometimes I bring like Python code into JavaScript, and JavaScript's like, "What are you doing?" But yes, message dot content dot split, perfect. So I'm gonna split it. How am I? Split. How am I gonna split it? I'm gonna split it by spaces, right? Because it's gonna be the command, then a space, and then the string that I want to add. And then this is gonna return a list though. I don't want a list. I just want one string. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this is the 1th element, but this is not the first element. For all of you non-CS students, in CS, we start counting from 0. So if you wanted the first element, you would do 0. we want the second element, so we do 1. This bracket syntax is just a way of accessing a element in a list. So we're saying message.content.split from the documentation. If you go here and you type split, you can, no, okay, I'm just gonna say JS string split right there. It's gonna tell you that it divides a string into an ordered list of substrings, right? So we want to grab the second element because the first element is going to be our command. We're going to grab the second element. So we do bracket 1 bracket. If you wanted the first element, it would be bracket 0 bracket because again, in CS we start counting from 0. All right, so hopefully that works. It should. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's see. No dot. And I'm just going to test it here for y'all to see. Hello me. Hi me. Perfect. It works. Awesome. All right. I have 5 minutes left before we have to cut this. Unfortunately, I had a couple more things planned for the day. We were going to use the .env file. We were going to push this to GitHub. And then we were also going to start using Discord.js Commando, which is a abstraction. And it's like an addition to Discord.js that makes your life easier. Unfortunately, we won't be able to touch on this because our time has run out. What I really recommend that if you're interested on continuing to learn about Discord bots and just like this is a great way to learn JavaScript. I didn't know how to I had this is like my first bot was my first JavaScript project. I learned JavaScript by creating bots. It's a very nice way. Again, Discord.js API is very well maintained and it's very easy to understand. So it's a really good way to get your hands dirty with JavaScript if you've never used it before. There are some, you can follow my workshop Notion page if you want to continue on doing some more interesting stuff, like using the .env file and using Discord.js Commando. And then also at the very bottom of my Notion page, you will see 2 links to 2 different guides. One guide is for Discord.js and one guide is for Discord.js Commando. And those guides basically go over what we just went through and many more things. And you can also use that to kind of debug sometimes if you don't know what's going on or learn the correct ways of doing certain things and certain tasks. Now I promised, who did I promise I was going to talk about how deploying this to like a development server. I think it was HTML bot. So how we are deploying our bot. So right now, right, the bot that we are creating, we are deploying it. We're running it from our computer. And so if I clicked no dot and then I turned off my computer, the process would stop and the node would die, right? It would go offline. So how we deployed our bot so that it stays alive all the time and I don't have to have my computer on for the entire event is that there's a lot of ways to do it. Heroku has a really good way of doing it. I'm gonna send you guys a link in a few moments to the activity banter. It's a video on how to deploy a bot to Heroku. It's 100% free. It's really nice. It also uses GitHub to deploy it automatically. It's really nice. You can definitely use that. We personally use AWS. We have an EC2 instance, and I think we're currently using Forever. It's another package to keep the bot running forever, but we might transition to NP2 or NP. I think it's NP2. But yeah, hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable using documentation. This is a hard workshop. Like this is not easy at all. And it's the hard workshop of the day where we use code and then we're just kind of like diving right into it. So, if it was hard, but you made it through, great. If it was hard and you didn't, do not give up. Keep pushing, keep learning, keep looking at the documentation. If you have questions, let our TAs know. Let me open up my presentation with my information. This is my Discord name and ID, so you can DM me. You can also just search me under staff. My name is JP Garcia _nwPlus. If you have any questions, if you want to use Discord, create a Discord bot for your project and you don't know where to start, or if you just want to know if your idea fits well within the Discord bot environment, feel free to DM me, and I'm very happy to jump in a call with you or just text with you about that. I really hope that you had fun. We're gonna use the poll now. I completely forgot. Go to the activity banter, and we are gonna send the poll to react for your. Oh yeah, they just sent it. 6:59. Go 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 go! Run to the activity banter Discord channel and get your stamp. Stamps. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for being on Discord and for letting me know if I was going too fast. Again, I apologize for that. I was very excited. Well, hopefully you did learn something. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out. We're all happy to help you. All right. I think they're gonna cut me now soon. But everybody take care. Good luck with your projects. Use the bot, enjoy the bot, the nwPlus bot. There's also the nwHacks and nwPlus team creation. And if you want to learn more about that bot as well, just hit me a DM and I'm happy to talk. Take care. Good luck. Yeah.